welcome to my review recap of Married at First Sight, Season 16, Episode 18. My name's Deborah. I'm going to be doing individual recaps, and at the end of this video, you can catch the links to all the different videos above my head and click on the individual links for each individual couple. And now we're moving on to Airris and Jasmine, and Airris and Jasmine. Well, y'all, we heard it out the robot's mouth. We heard it out of the robot's mouth this episode. I've been validated. What did Airris say? Airris said he had to be re-engineered. And I think he said Dr. Pia. We didn't even see Dr. Pia this season, did we? Did they cut her scenes? Because I think he said it was Dr. Pia. And he used the word re-engineer. I ain't making it up. I am not making it up. He said he had to get re-engineered by Dr. Pia to come up with a new definition of what intimacy is, because when he heard the word intimacy, he thinks of sex. At 40 years old. At 40 years old, when he hears the word intimacy, he makes an automatic conclusion that that's about sex. So you mean to tell me a 40-year-old man doesn't know the difference? Well, let me say this. He doesn't even know that there's a difference between intimacy and sex. He had to be re-engineered by Dr. Pia. Like I told y'all, he's a robot and you got to re-engineer him. And now that he's been re-engineered, he says he's ready to go. He is ready to go. I could not believe that Airris was sitting on that couch with his arm around Jasmine, with his arm around her waist, with his hand on her lap, as he said, touching her right cheek. And he was over here sitting here talking about, I absolutely see a path after decision day where we could grow our intimacy and we can grow everything. Can y'all believe it? Can y'all believe it? He says to Jasmine, you know what? You really listened to the constructive feedback I've given you, and you've been more outgoing and you've been more assertive in talking. Well, let's wind this all back, because I want to have another validation here from somebody out there. So you mean to tell me, did her booty grow bigger, Airris? Did her booty grow bigger? Did she get more swag, Airris? How about her sneakers? Did she get more sneakers? Did she go out and buy more sneakers? So what you're telling me, Airris, is that from the very beginning, it had nothing to do with her booty. It had nothing to do with her swag. And it had nothing to do with the sneakers she wears or doesn't wear. Like I said, it had nothing to do with it. What did I tell y'all it had to do with? Fear. And what did Airris say that he likes the most about Jasmine? That when they go out in public, that he is socially awkward and he is uncomfortable. And he likes the way that Jasmine isn't that way. And it allows him to feel more comfortable in her presence. So it goes back to what I told you before, that when they were on that little honeymoon, and Jasmine was pointing out the fact that here he was, a man never have been in love. He felt judged. He felt scared. And what he did was, instead of admitting that he's scared, instead of admitting that he has these flaws or whatever else, instead what he decided to do was tell her she ain't got no swag, her booty's too big, and what else? She ain't got no sneakers. That's why he wasn't attracted to her. And now, as he's grown and be re-engineered, what he's saying is, all along, I was scared. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I don't know anything about love. I don't know about anything about relationships. And what I really needed a woman to do was speak up and teach me and re-engineer me. But instead of doing that, he reverted to name calling and telling her what she ain't got. But now that he's been re-engineered, he's ready to show up, act out, and go along with this. After all of these weeks, here we are 3 days before decision day. And Jasmine's over here wondering, and can she trust it? She goes, the words sound good, and I am seeing progress, because now they're kissing, they're hugging, they're touching, or maybe they're doing pecks. He's checking on her throughout the day. He talking about he loves a Duchess. He's talking about he's so inspired by her breeding these dogs. He's so inspired by her cheerleading and her mentoring and coaching. Everything a Jasmine touches turns to gold. This is all the stuff he was complaining about in the beginning. All the stuff. He was complaining about the dogs. He was complaining about this and complaining about that. And now all of a sudden it's everything that he loves about her. Good Lord, people. A good Lord. He been re-engineered. He finally has been re-engineered. He said, a life is hard. He said, a life is hard, Jasmine. And he told Pastor Cal and Dr. Pepper, life is hard and it's always good to have someone to pull you over here and tell you what to do. Like I told you from the beginning, he's a robot. He needs to be programmed. But maybe once he's programmed, he can stay on the road and he continue down the road. It's what that soothsayer said. He's got a lot of growing up to do. Basically, he's got a lot of programming to do. But once you program him, he's able to do it. He's able to do it. Once you program him, he's able to do it. The question will be, can Jasmine, is she up for the job of programming Airris? Is she up for the job of programming Airris, or is this just too big of a job for anyone to take on? And is there just way too much risk in it? I think she's going to say yes after decision day. I already know Jasmine's going to say yes after decision day. And it's starting to look more likely that he might even say yes. It's starting to look more likely that he actually might say yes and give it a little bit more time after decision day. Because as what he's saying is, now that I've been re-engineered, I need a couple of test runs. You know how you do when you re-engineer something? You need some little tests to do. We just testing the system now. We're not going fully live yet, but we're gonna test the system out on a couple of little dry runs. And if the system performs well, then we'll move ahead. So what Airris is saying, now that I've been re-engineered, I'm gonna need a couple of test runs after, decision day. So why don't we take this for a test run, my new computer programming? Why don't we take my new computer programming, do a few test runs after decision day, and we'll see how it shakes out. That seems like what he's asking for now. He's asking Jasmine for some free test days. Let's do some pilot test. Let's do some pilot testing here. They told him, I want you to look at her and look at Jasmine in the eyes and tell her what you like about her. Now, you know what? I ain't gonna give full credit because he didn't look all the way at Jasmine, but at least he looked at her with one eye. Before he would look way over here. He looked way over here. At least he's made it to the point where he can look at her with one eye. That's the best I'm gonna give him because it wasn't with two eyes. He definitely wasn't looking at her with two eyes. But at least now he's looking at her with one eye. Jasmine says she's hopeful. She's hopeful. Even Airris said, are you 100% confident in your decision? Do you know what you're going to say? And Jasmine said, I put in 1,000%. Jasmine didn't say 100. She said 1,000. She said, I done put in 1,000%. So I already know I've done my best. I've done my best. And when she was at this little electric slide party that they were at, and that guy was over there trying to lay it on thick, talking about he got a 740, a couple of them. Boy, get out of here. Is this your game? Is this your game? Was Jasmine falling for it? She was like, I don't think Jasmine was falling for it, but she said, but I do like the attention. I do like the attention. They set that up and said, oh, let me get a guy who breeds dogs and go over here and holler at Airris. But did you see who was the most jealous that the men were hollering at Jasmine? It was Gina. Gina was over there darn near breaking her neck or watching how the man was coming after Jasmine, and Gina was jealous. I'm going to get on Gina in another video. Please watch that. But Gina was over there jealous because Jasmine was getting some attention from the guys. And she like, why ain't nobody come over here checking for me? I need more attention. Jasmine was like, she's thankful for Airris' honesty because it's helped her grow. Girl, he wasn't honest with you because at first he was saying it was your booty, your swag, and your sneakers. That ain't honesty. The real problem was he was fearful. That was the real issue. So yeah, he might have helped you because he said, I want you to come out of your shell. I want you to talk more. I think that has helped Jasmine. But like I said before, I don't really think that Jasmine is a quiet person anyway. I think that he drove her into a shell. I think if he hadn't started off the way he did with all the put downs, he actually would have gotten a more vocal Jasmine from the beginning. So he really would have gotten what he wanted more up front. But the reason why he didn't get more of the Jasmine that he likes now up front is because he drove her underground with all his put downs. I don't think Jasmine is as quiet as she's coming off to be. I think Jasmine knows how to speak up because I always remember what her sisters said about her. If you ever remember when the sisters were talking about Jasmine, they never said that Jasmine was quiet. They never said that. In fact, they said that Jasmine was a little bit bossy. That's what they said. If you go back to the very beginning, the sisters were calling Jasmine a little bit bossy and she likes things a certain kind of way. That's what they said about her. So the truth of the matter is Airris could have had a bossy Jasmine. Since he likes to be bossed around, he really could have had a bossy Jasmine from the beginning. But he put Jasmine underground with those put downs. That made the real Jasmine retreat. He could have had what he wanted, because I think Jasmine has a little bit of bossiness in her, because her sister said it, and I believe the sisters. But Airris said, oh yeah, I've learned that now, that's what's called intimacy, because I help you grow, you help me grow, we feeding off each other, and that's the word for new intimacy. I've been re-engineered. Boy, you 40 years old. You are 40 years old. Ugh. This is called, what's all my little education people, is this called developmentally delayed? How many years is Airris delayed by? 20? I don't know. I think, you know what? I'm actually starting to think we might get a yes out of Airris. I'm starting to think we might get a yes out of Airris. Because all this talk he's doing right now, he better say yes. He better say yes. This better not be no setup for him to say a no on decision day. If he is doing all this setup just to say no on a decision day, he's going to go from being just a robot and developmentally delayed to being a cruel person. To be a really cruel person, because what he's doing right now, he's really building up the hope in Jasmine. And if he's only doing this just to say no decision day, I'm going to move him from being just a robot Airris to being a really, really cruel Airris. We already know he was putting her down for no reason because he was all scared and everything. But I'm telling you, it's going to be worse. So right now, based on this, I'm going to go with the fact that the two of them might even both say yes on decision day. Now, I don't know if it'll last. I don't know if it'll last. And unless something changes in the next couple of episodes, shoot, we might get two yeses on decision day, but maybe to be like last year with, what were the two people that said yes on the decision day? And then right after the day after they said no, Justin and Alexis, it was a yes on decision day. And the day after it was a no. Now we might get that. We absolutely might get that. But anyway, that's it, y'all. Be sure to watch my other videos. You can see them here. Click on the links, and I will talk to you later. Bye.